Hey everyone, I'm back again with another video, and this one is a two-story video, so be sure to stick around for the second story as well. And the first one is titled, I'm feeling a lot of anger about this child of my wife's affair that I've been talked into being a father figure for. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Let's get right into it. This post is about me, my ex-wife, our two sons, and the affair my ex-wife had that resulted in the end of our marriage, as well as a third child we'll call Max. I've been thinking about posting something like this for a few days. I have to admit that reading the recent post by another user is the thing that pushed me to sit down and try to type this out. I think that what I want to talk about is parenting stuff, but I'm going to start by talking about the affair and dissolution of our relationship. Regarding custody of our sons, there was a period of more conflict and resistance. I took the boys in the initial period of Max's infancy, and in the initial highly emotionally injured state I was in, I sought full permanent custody. But I wasn't likely to be successful, and I was eventually persuaded that despite the breakdown of my relationship with her, that it's in my sons' best interest to have their mother in their lives. Today, to the amazement of everyone else in my life, my ex and I remain co-parenting partners in the parenthood of our children. For the last 2 years, we've shared week-to-week custody of our two sons. This upcoming school year, Max is going to be old enough to attend the same school. About a month ago, I got sat down by my ex, her partner, and all three boys, and they all want Max to travel back and forth with the boys each week and effectively live with me 50% of the time. Seriously. There are some arguments for it, admittedly. The three boys are friends and brothers as much as I resent it. Splitting them up regularly does seem like a weird sibling dynamic that could have poor consequences. I'm angry with my ex for broaching the topic with the boys before me, but it's also an entirely reasonable thing for the boys to have an opinion on. I agreed. What was I supposed to say? No. Why not? I can't say, because I hate that Max exists, so I said okay. I do hate him. I know he doesn't deserve to be hated. I know he's no more responsible for the circumstances of his conception than any of us, but knowing that doesn't seem to matter. He's a walking, talking reminder of all the worst emotions that I've ever felt. I'm coming to end of the second week staying with us and the boys. We have moved him into my home and made space for him. I hate the sound of his voice. If he needs help in the kitchen, I am immediately annoyed with no good reason. I'm constantly angered by his limitations. Limitations that are entirely in line with being a 5-year-old, things I would never get angry with my sons over. I'm short-tempered and just energized with this useless visceral anger. I feel like the last years of my life have been a carousel of humiliations and degradations. The only way I've been able to keep everything together is constantly repeating to myself that pragmatic argument that no matter how authentic my grievances are, and no matter how justified I am in my anger, it doesn't help me or my sons for me to devolve into an embittered rage hermit. I just hold my tongue, breathe deep, and force myself to do the thing that will actually help. So I remain in regular contact with their mother, and I talk to her politely on the topics that I have to. Since recognizing that I don't have the legal power to exclude him from my sons' lives, I have been cordial with Max's father, that I've been able to do these things, and it has been the only thing about myself worth feeling good about. But maybe it's not worth feeling good about. Maybe I regret being civil, because in Max's presence, that pragmatic argument is just not enough. It's like all the anger I've set aside through the sheer force of will returns at once and possesses me while I have to talk to him. I thought I was doing the right thing, but if I had remained combative and negative, I never would have ended up in this position. What do I do? I'm constantly thinking I want to back out, to say, no, I can't do this, I'm sorry. But how could I justify that? No one else in this situation will be happy with that. The boys certainly don't understand why there would be a reason for them to be treated differently based on their parentage. My oldest has told me so explicitly, in a moment that made me feel both proud of him and ashamed of my own anger. Their mother and her partner would be upset. Part of me doesn't care and bitterly assumes they're just trying to get some free time for themselves out of this, but I'm trying not to dwell on that. My ex makes good arguments that this is in the best interest of all of the children, but part of me just remembers how long she lied to me and how totally I trusted her in that time. It seems like the only thing to do is the same thing I've ever done. Suck it up and get over myself and my anger. But if I do that, then I have to actually do that. Even if I'm being a responsible babysitter for Max right now, he deserves to live in a home where he is loved, not merely tolerated. Can I do that? Maybe I can't do that. I'm scared of a path forward where I can't work up the nerve to back out of this arrangement and co-sign myself to getting over it. And then I actually don't get over it, but rather dwell ever angrier with how my life has turned out and take it out on the undeserving around me. My wife demanded we have an open relationship and now isn't happy I'm sleeping with our daughter's friend. Let's get right into it. Sometime last year, my wife approached me about opening up our relationship. Our intercourse life had deteriorated a lot over the years, and in the end, I just stopped pursuing it completely. If I was lucky, I'd get intercourse maybe once a month or so, and even then, it came with a number of caveats to the point that it felt like a transaction. After months of "I'm too tired" or "not now, I'm not in the mood," I just stopped asking and went about 8 months without any form of intimacy at all. A kiss on the cheek would be the absolute limit. My wife worries about her age and the toll 3 kids have taken on her body, but I still find her as beautiful as the day I married her, and her body is more than enough to keep me going. Not being able to show her how beautiful I find her, as words haven't been enough, has been difficult. Before the mess of last year started, she broached the subject of seeing other people. It wasn't something I wanted to do, and I was against it, but she explained that in order to get her confidence back, she wanted to be desired by other people. I believe this was prompted by our eldest, and she's very much into this new age stuff. As I said, I wasn't happy, but I can see when there's no point in arguing, and it would be simpler for me to agree. We didn't really set any ground rules. My wife just took my acceptance at face value and carried on. My daughter has a close friend who is frequently coming around, and they've been close friends for quite a few years. So much so that we occasionally chat when she's around the house, and it's not that much of a surprise if she's around the house. We've become closer over the past year as she's been spending more time around our house, and it is through her that I learned the open relationship was my daughter's idea. To stop rambling ahead, one thing led to another, and I have been sleeping with her quite regularly. At first, we were just using hotels to keep it out of the house, but the whole 2020 issue has made us use the house, and my daughter has caught us a few times. She made it clear that she saw no issues with it, and while my wife has never seen us together, she is aware. She's been quite upset about it and said she wants me to stop. She doesn't want to end our open relationship deal, but she doesn't want me to be sleeping with people we know. I'm at a crossroads here. I am quite enjoying this purely physical relationship, and I don't want to go back to merely looking forward to a kiss that isn't on my cheek. But at the same point, I don't want to cause my wife any grief. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos, and be sure to comment below what other subreddits you want me to cover.